Welcome to this workshop, Retirement Income Planning. I am Janelle Cross. We think of financial life as unfolding in three stages. First is financial safety, focused on building a good foundation. Next is wealth accumulation, where we gather resources for the final stage, financial freedom. That's when you have the money resources you need to do things that bring joy and fulfillment to your life. For more on the money stages, check out our Money Milestones course. This is a Stage 3 Financial Freedom course. What exactly is retirement income planning? Well, we think of it as getting to a point where you have enough income to maintain your standard of living for the rest of your life. Sounds pretty good, right? Here are the 4 steps of retirement income planning. Step 1, figure out how much you will need. What expenses will be new in retirement and which ones will be reduced or eliminated? Next, estimate how long you will live by considering how long parents and grandparents have lived. Third, think about where you will draw your retirement paychecks from. Most common sources are Social Security, savings, investments, and even part-time work. And finally, and most important, you will need to make sure that your plan will work. That requires you test and adjust as you get closer to retirement. The sooner you start retirement income planning, the better. That's because you can fine-tune your estimate of how much income you will need to maintain your lifestyle when your working days are behind you. Consider your gross pre-retirement income and then subtract payroll taxes, as well as contributions to retirement savings accounts like 401ks and IRAs. That leaves your estimated retirement income need. A general rule of thumb is to plan to replace 70 to 80% of your pre-retirement income in order to fund a similar lifestyle in retirement. Next, think about how long you might live. According to the Society of Actuaries, and assuming excellent health, 1/3 of today's 65-year-old women and about 1 in 4 men are expected to be alive to celebrate their 95th birthday. While living a long, healthy life is an aspiration of most folks, living several decades without a paycheck presents its own set of challenges, with one of the most significant being inflation. Inflation is the rate of change in prices, and rising inflation means you must pay more for the same goods and services compared to a year ago. This has a significant effect on our cost of living, including higher food costs, higher gas costs, higher utility costs, and higher interest rates on loans and mortgages. These rising costs mean that your dollar doesn't stretch as far. In 1916, 9 cents would have bought a full quart of milk. By 1966, 9 cents would have bought just a small glass, and by 2017, just 7 tablespoons of milk. Imagine how far 9 cents will stretch when you retire. This is the reality of inflation. As you approach retirement, your appetite for investment risk will likely decrease. You may even want to move your money to safe investments like cash and bank instruments like CDs. But is cash safe? Sure, your balance won't drop from one statement to the next, but is that what safe means when it comes to retirement income planning? This chart shows the 1-year CD savings rate minus annual inflation. You'll notice that since 2018, CD investments have been losing. Granted, it's not dollars they're losing, but since those dollars aren't earning enough to outpace inflation, they are losing purchasing power. So if most investors aim to reduce risk as they approach retirement and cash isn't going to cut it, what can retirees do? The short answer, stay invested. This chart from JP Morgan shows the average annual returns for different investments from 2002 to 2021. Inflation has averaged 2.2%, while cash has earned an average of 1.2%. Stocks and bonds have fared better. If the goal is to reduce risk but stay ahead of inflation, a good strategy is to build a balanced portfolio containing a variety of investments. Portfolios with 60% stocks and 40% bonds, as well as those that were a little less aggressive with 40% stocks and 60% bonds, also fared well relative to inflation, and certainly much better than cash. Over this same period, the average mutual fund investor outpaced inflation but fell short of the returns offered up by other investments. One reason is that investors often sell when markets go down, in essence, buying high and selling low, which is not the road to wealth. The name of the game is still to stay the course, which is certainly easier said than done. Check out our Beware the Media workshop and be sure to schedule time to meet with a coach to build a retirement income strategy that you'll be able to stick with. Okay, let's shift from inflation and investing to spending, which is quite honestly more fun to talk about. Step 3 in retirement income planning is to determine where your paycheck will come from. The obvious one is Social Security, which accounts for 40% of the typical retiree's income. Some may also have traditional pension benefits, which usually represent about 10%. Others may have a part-time job or some other source of income. But a significant contributor to your retirement lifestyle will be the choices you make when it comes to saving and investing. When it comes to investing for retirement income success, you have to stay invested. When you rely on savings and investments for your lifetime paycheck, you will also need to stick to a safe withdrawal rate. That's because spending too much too soon can deplete your investments. Next, you'll need to create and stick with a spending plan. Unexpected things will still happen in retirement, so monitoring day-to-day spending is really important. Check out our Start Smart workshop, which focuses on building a spending plan. And finally, as we say in nearly every workshop, a key to retirement income success is having adequate emergency savings. Let's talk about a safe withdrawal rate. As you are putting money into your retirement savings, you naturally want to maximize growth. And this means taking more risk with investments. But as you enter retirement, you reduce risk, which also means reducing the potential growth of your savings. Let's say that your pre-retirement growth portfolio earns an average of 7% per year. However, as you adjust that growth portfolio to, say, a 40-60 portfolio like the one we saw in the JP Morgan chart, you might expect earnings of about 5 to 6% per year. If you want your savings to continue to grow in order to keep ahead of inflation, you'll need to withdraw no more than 5% of your account annually. If your withdrawal rate exceeds the earning power of your account, you might find yourself running out of savings. And with that, we've completed steps 1 through 3. Now it's time for the last step, testing the plan. Assume your current income is 85% and you've determined you need 75% or about $64,000 per year of retirement income. Your income will come from Social Security and personal savings in this example. And let's assume you have a family history of average life expectancy. There are basically 3 dials we can turn in order to get this employee's retirement income plan on track. First, they can save more. They could also reduce their retirement income or plan to work longer. Let's first try to get the employee on track by saving more. If we increase their savings rate from 8% to 31%, the analysis suggests the employee would have some money remaining at the end of their life expectancy. Next, we could test reducing the employee's retirement income. If we reduce from a 75% income replacement to a 60% income replacement, the calculation also shows a little bit remaining at the end of their plan. Finally, let's consider working longer. If they work until age 67 instead of retiring at age 62, the calculator estimates they will have some funds remaining at the end of their plan. In other scenarios, when the employee planned to retire at 62, their anticipated Social Security income was about $32,000 per year. Notice that delaying retirement to age 67 gives them time to save more, but also gives them a sizable raise in their Social Security check. We'll come back to this in just a minute. There is one final option, and that is adjusting all 3 dials. Retirement income planning can be complex, and figuring out which option has the best impact on your situation is critical. In our work longer scenario, we saw the benefit of delaying Social Security. Our workshop Social Security Overview takes a deep dive in this subject, but I'll mention a few key aspects of our national retirement system here. You can start receiving benefits as early as age 62 or as late as age 70. Depending on when you were born, your full retirement age ranges between 66 and 67. Each year you wait, you get an 8% pay raise. That means taking your benefit before full retirement age can have a big dent in your Social Security paycheck. In fact, the difference between your check at age 62 and your check at age 70 can be as much as 76%. That's why you tend to get the biggest impact on your retirement success when you turn the work longer dial. We're on the home stretch now. Let's highlight the things you can do to get your retirement plan on track. You can delay retirement, save more in your 401k. Think about downsizing your home. This helps in two ways, by cutting expenses, but also perhaps realizing some additional dollars that you can invest toward your retirement income. Also, be sure you complete a cash flow analysis so you can fine-tune your retirement income estimate. Also, check your investment portfolio allocation and consider rebalancing to reduce risk as you head toward the retirement finish line. And remember the benefits of delaying your application for Social Security and strive for good health. This helps your quality of life and also reduces money spent on healthcare. Be sure to consider any additional income sources you may have overlooked, including working part-time or selling some personal assets. Some folks might also have rental income. Then there are things like reverse mortgages and inheritance. Although we generally do not suggest depending on these two income sources when preparing your plan, they can be considered last resort or icing on the cake situations. Okay, we made it to the finish line. In our time today, we covered the components of retirement income planning, and that means evaluating your current situation and, whenever possible, living below your means. This helps you practice retirement by living on less. Another way to practice retirement is to reduce your take-home pay by saving more in your retirement accounts and paying down debt. Also, don't forget the importance of building that emergency savings account, ideally to 12 months or more of your living expenses. And finally, do no harm. This is not the time to be raiding retirement savings or taking loans from your 401k. In this last lap of your working days, it's really hard to rebuild savings. Retirement income planning isn't about being rich. It's about having enough money to buy time. And you can get there by taking just one best next step after the other. Google is full of advice, and so are family and friends. But not all advice matches your situation. Schedule right from your MyMoneyNav dashboard or email your financial coach at moneynav.com. A great next step is to complete the MoneyNav assessment. Your responses are used to build a personalized set of best next steps or money moves to get you on track and moving forward. Email your financial coach at moneynav.com for a link to your company's assessment.